On this issue of Shareable Science Beyond the Blog, let's check in on the status of different treatment options being considered for COVID-19. Welcome to Shareable Science. Science you can share. In late March, I told you about a website that was tracking the progress made for treatments and potential vaccines for COVID-19. I thought today it might make sense for us to revisit that and see what's changed. So this tracker is by the Milken Institute. It's called the COVID-19 Treatment and Viral Tracker. And here's the website for it. There's an enormous amount of data here. You could spend hours looking through this, but it's a great way to categorize what the types of treatments are, what stage of trial, clinical trial or preclinical trial they're at, and what data has come from them. As of today, there are 238 potential treatment options being considered. And I think that speaks so much to the way that the global community has stepped forward to say, I want to be a part of trying to find a way to treat this. Some conventional ways and some unconventional ways. Here's the broad categorization of those 238 treatments. We've spent a fair amount of time talking about antibody treatments, antiviral treatments, and scanning through libraries of existing drugs looking for potential old drugs that could be used in new ways for COVID-19. We'll spend a future episode of Beyond the Blog talking about cell-based and RNA-based therapies. There's some really interesting science here, and also about this small category of devices. Over 100 of the potential therapies fall into this hodgepodge category called other. And that really is a broad range of things looking at, could you prevent the clots that are associated with a small percentage of cases? Are there ways that you could slow the replication of the virus to slow the progression of the disease? Can we stop the overactive response from the immune system that we see in people that get really serious disease? And then combination therapies. A significant number of these have moved out of preclinical trials and are now actually being tested on people. That's exciting. That's what we need. We need to begin to gather that sort of data from this. And I expect as we move through the summer, we'll see a lot of those clinical trials begin to read out. And that'll help us separate out those therapies that are really effective from those therapies that are less or not even effective. Now, the FDA is the ultimate arbiter in the United States of whether a therapy gets approved, whether it makes its way into patient care. At the moment, there are no FDA-approved drugs or products to treat or prevent COVID-19. We do have a handful that have what's called emergency use authorization by the FDA. That's where the FDA has done an initial review of risks and benefits and decided that it makes sense to make these medications available for clinical trials to determine their use, and if the clinical trial has provided enough information to make it available for physicians to use in their treatment. Remdesivir, which is one of the antivirals that we've talked about in a previous Beyond the Blog episode, is one of those drugs that has emergency use authorization. That's not full FDA approval, but for the pandemic, it's an allowance for physicians to use it under certain circumstances. Now let me flip to the other side. And that's that there are a significant number of organizations that are selling products that they claim to prevent or treat, that they claim will prevent or treat COVID-19. The FDA has sent out 66 letters to these different companies, to 66 different companies, saying the product that you are making claims about, there's no evidence for that, and asking that they remove those claims from their websites, from their commercials. You can see the specific list at this link. You can just put this into your search engine and fraudulent COVID-19 FDA, and you'll get the whole list. But they break down into the following categories. I'm not going to walk us through these, nor am I saying that there is no place for these in any kind of other forms of therapy. We know, for example, that vitamins are really important for our body and are necessary, but we don't have any evidence that any vitamin or dietary supplement actually prevents or treats COVID-19. So if you see an organization selling a vitamin supplement or an essential oil or a CBD product or anything else on here under the claim that this kills the virus and that you can use this to prevent yourself from getting sick, there's no science behind that. So these are the things that you just want to be aware of. We all want answers. We all want to feel like there is something that we can do that reduces our risk, or if we get sick, keeps us from getting seriously ill. These are not the answers. In fact, some of these are actually downright harmful. So, front side of the board, the progress that we're making in trying to understand the science behind which of these are going to be the actual treatments. The back side of the board, the things that you want to be aware of and that you want to cast a very wary eye on. I hope you found this video useful. Please share this with those that you think might also find this information helpful. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time on Shareable Science Beyond the Blog. Take care.